Hi, I'm Gary Shorman, President and CEO of Eagle Communications. I want to congratulate our Eagle employee owners. They now own 100% of our company. I'd also like to recognize Bob and Pat Schmidt for their help in making all of this happen. With 100% ownership, our employee owners have a clear and tangible interest in the long-term success of our company. And more importantly, they are dedicated to your success and happiness as a customer of Eagle. Eagle Communication, now more than ever, our community connected.
EnerSys is a major employer and paysetter company for the United Way of Ellis County. Each year, EnerSys encourages all their employees to engage in different fundraising events in the community to benefit United Way agencies. Additional community involvement includes food drives for the local food bank, adopt a spot cleanup, and participation in numerous local civic organizations. EnerSys, a great place to work, a partner of the community.
The United Way of Ellis County on Eagle Community Television is brought to you by EnerSys, Hayes Med, Insurance Planning Incorporated, and Eagle Communications.
Jason Rao, Executive Director of United Way of Ellis County, with you today to introduce you to another high-impact organization. But before we meet them, I just wanted to remind you that the season is changing, and that means that your local United Way campaign is underway. Kansas is all about neighbor helping neighbor, and the United Way campaign is your opportunity to come out and show your support.
Hi, I'm Darcy Mills, Executive Director of CASA the High Plains, and change starts here.
All right, Darcy, well, thank you for joining us today. It's very nice of you. Why don't you tell us what CASA stands for?
CASA stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the history of CASA, kind of how it came to Ellis County, and what your mission and vision are?
Okay. CASA started in the 1970s by Judge David Sakup out of Seattle, Washington, and he thought it was really important to have community volunteers in the courtroom speaking on the behalf of children. Then the program grew. National CASA was started in 1982, and the United States slowly it began to spread. In 1989, in March, CASA of the High Plains, or CASA for the 23rd Judicial District, which we're in, began.
Okay. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what CASA does? What is it that you do as CASA?
CASA is an organization that uses community volunteers like yourself to speak on the behalf of abused and neglected children in our court system.
So it's all volunteer driven. All of the services provided out are from volunteers.
Yes, they're from community volunteers just like yourself.
So what do you as a volunteer working with CASA do?
As a volunteer, you are trained and placed on a case of a child in need of care. That is a child that is either in their home or has been removed from their home because of child abuse or neglect. The volunteer then follows the case and makes recommendations to the court based upon the best interests of the child.
I've heard it said that as a volunteer you investigate, facilitate, advocate, and monitor. Would you say that's pretty accurate?
Yeah.
So how would you, as a volunteer coming into this process, go through that investigation?
After the volunteer is placed on a case, the first 2 weeks we like to call the investigation period. In that time, the volunteer goes and speaks to everybody that is in that child's life, from foster parents, school teachers, counselors, doctors, anyone that will help give the volunteer a better idea of what's going on in the case.
So how much time are you looking at as a volunteer if you work on one of these cases?
Well, in the first 2 weeks, that investigation period, that would probably be the most time consuming. We're thinking maybe 8 to 10 hours, depending on what's going on in the case and depending on the child. From there on out, we recommend 6 to 8 hours per month until the end of the case or the close of the case.
How long do cases normally last?
That depends on the child. That depends on the situation they're in. Hopefully, a case is closed within the first year.
So it sounds like volunteers are really needed. What kind of training would a volunteer have to go through?
National CASA requires 30 hours of training for every volunteer to become certified through National CASA. We do that in maybe 5 or 6 sessions of some hours in a classroom setting and then multiple hours in a at-home independent study session.
What kind of people are you looking for volunteers?
Volunteers can really be anyone in the community. But I would really love people that are committed to children, that are compassionate, and that have the time commitment and the flexibility to actually stay with a case for at least a year.
You know, I know that there are social workers involved and lawyers involved. Does the judge actually take time to listen to the CASA person?
Definitely. In our jurisdiction, CASAs are very highly valued. They are a third set of eyes and ears that can tell the judge and give him more information so he can make a better decision on what's best for these children.
All right, I tell you what, why don't you give us your big sell speech? Give us the big push. Why is CASA so important for Ellis County?
Okay. CASA is so important for Ellis County because last year in 2011 we had 155 brand new cases of child abuse and neglect. That's 155 brand new kids in our system. We need volunteers out there that will speak for each one of those children. There's not a child that should be left behind or fall through the cracks of the system because no one cares, because I know our community cares.
I agree, and no child should be left behind. You certainly are right about that. You know what? I think you sold me, and I think you sold them too. How do we get a hold of you?
You can call the CASA office at 785-628-8641, or you can find us online at kansascasa.org.
All right. Well, thank you, Darcy. Thanks for taking time today.
The United Way of Ellis County on Eagle Community Television is brought to you by Intersys, Hayes Med, Insurance Planning Incorporated, and Eagle Communications.
Choosing the right home may take months. Decorating it perfectly may take years. Leaving it every day just takes complete confidence in both your home and auto insurance.
Allied Homeowners and Auto Insurance, a nationwide company. On your side.
See Sue May at Insurance Planning, 3006 Broadway in Hayes. As a major employer and paysetter company, Hayes Med leads the way in United Way support each year. Community involvement for Hayes Med also takes many other forms, from monthly blood screenings to providing free drive-through flu vaccinations to helping citizens be healthier through the Kickstart Weight Loss Program. Hayes Med remains unwavering in support of the local and regional communities it serves. That is one constant on which everyone can rely. Hayes Med, a constant in our community.